right now. I got a great one for you. We are joined by a host and a content creator. She has served as an NFL correspondent for the Chicago Sports Network, Bally Sports, as well as numerous other platforms. And really importantly, she appears today courtesy of Twisted Tea.
Ooh.
She is Annie Agar. Annie, it is so great to have you on the show. How you doing? What's good?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It is so good to have you. Now, normally, you know how these things go. I don't lead with the pitch.
Yeah.
Normally, if somebody comes with a conditional pitch, we do the interview, we jam it in at the very end, and I'm good like that.
Yep.
But this is different because this is our pitch, all right?
Yeah.
Twisted Tea, we are with them, so I'm going to lead with it and not end with it. Now, here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to get here
Yep.
because you and I had not met, but I was going to be really forward and say, hey, man, let's smash a couple of twisties during the interview, but the NFL shut that down. Annie, how twisted is that?
You know what? They're usually so lenient with that stuff, too.
Yeah, not now.
The NFL's never gone on me, guys, because I'm so nice. I don't make any jokes about them at all, ever.
Yeah, well, I don't either, but I might now. Man, they shut
That's
that
crazy.
down. Straight twisted. Straight twisted. The hell is the world coming to if we can't throw back a twisty or four on the road during the show?
I mean, we are doing so much work out here. We need to kick back a little bit every once in a while. A Twisted Tea would be perfect for that.
Yeah, well, I tried, and I may still try. I'm going
to write an email.
You know what? Actually, I want you to write an email.
I will. Very strongly
The old school. You're too young, but hey, I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to write a letter.
Exactly.
You know what? Fire off an
write
email.
A letter. Absolutely.
Thumb out a text.
Roger Goodell, get prepared.
Then thumb out a post.
Count your days.
Hey, listen, I actually want your job. So as an ambassador for Twisted Tea, what are you doing this week?
This week we have a lot of stuff going on. We're doing a lot of interviews on Radio Row. I was on Good Morning Football this morning. And as always, every week this season, I've been doing my Twisted Tweets, which is probably my favorite segment I've done this year, because I'll just take tweets from either fans or, bigger pages on Twitter, and it's basically just fans crashing out, but in the funniest way possible. So I'm recapping kind of what's happened that week on social media for people through a bunch of other people's tweets, and they get pretty twisted. So I'm doing that again, and then we're going to do some stuff this weekend, and then I'm going to the game on Sunday.
That's awesome. How twisted is social? Now, let's not bite the hand that feeds, because you figured out social. You cracked the code, and this is why we're talking. But how twisted is social sometimes?
It is wild. It's such a dog-eat-dog world out there, because I was just telling somebody else, there's no off time, right? Like, if I don't put out content, somebody else is putting out that content. So, and it's great. Like, I love how the social media world's taken off, but it's also a negative because people are consuming sports so differently too. It's great for me because it creates a demand for my content, but they're not watching 3-hour-long games anymore. They want like the quick hits on social media, and it's scary.
Annie, I host a 4-hour show. I don't want you.
Oh, never mind. The shows are great.
Isn't long form the greatest thing ever?
Long form's the best thing ever.
You know
all the producers listening in and don't listen.
Short consumption, short clips. It'll never work, man. That fad will be dead before the end of this interview.
That's terrible. Who would say that?
No, I know. The funny thing is, I want to talk about this. Your path is genius, actually. Take me through this. So how did you go about building your brand and finding your voice after graduating from Grand Valley State University in Michigan? Take us through it.
Great poll, by the way. It's a great school. So I was working in local news in Grand Rapids at the time, my hometown. And when COVID hit, we didn't have anything to cover, right? Because sports had kind of shut down. So I'd gotten, as everybody did, on TikTok. And I did a video about the Big Ten getting football up and running again, and kind of this roasting format where I played out the characters of the Big Ten. I didn't script anything. I just played off of what stereotypes I knew. So like I had Michigan being arrogant and Ohio State thinking they win every year, all that kind of stuff. And the video got 3 million views.
In other words, you spoke the truth.
I tried. And the video got 3 million views overnight. And I thought, okay, maybe we need some comedy.
Okay, can we stop right there? Like, your very first video got 3 million views overnight.
That was the first one in that. Yeah, I did like a couple little tiny TikToks because I was trying to understand the app, but that was the first one that I put effort into. So you always hear that phrase, overnight sensation. You were an overnight sensation. How weird was that? Was that weird, surreal, scary? How do you go from somebody like, I'm just trying to figure out this app, to 3 million people like and consumed what I just did? It was wild. I've never, because back then social media didn't take off the way it does now. So something going viral like that, I'd never experienced before in my life. And I was so overwhelmed because I knew I wanted to get into this career. So I'm looking at it as an opportunity here. I can't waste this. And I loved how much it reached the fans. And because like ESPN put it out, Kirk Herbstreit was retweeting it. And so I just wanted to make the most of it and made sure that.
Were you stoked or terrified?
I was a little bit of both. It was like stoked for 2 or 3 days. And then I thought, okay, I gotta capitalize on this. Yeah.
And then you gotta feed the beast. You gotta do it again.
It goes away. That's the thing with social media.
You don't want to be a one-hit wonder, right?
Right. So other than that, I was very excited about it. But then I got the right people around me. I got a great agent, and we just went from there.
Annie Agar joining us. So what you do, football team meeting videos, for those who have not seen it, and I would imagine at this point everybody has seen them, how did you come up with that concept, and what is it if they haven't seen it?
That's a great, people ask me that all the time. I don't really know how the format came to be. I just thought, how can I get these, because I have a lot of jokes in these roasts that that's how my brain works, you know? My family, we just roast each other. We don't say I love you. So I had that was the way my brain was working. So I thought, what format could I use to play off of this and use the characters, you know? And I thought, I'll just do like a meeting video. At the time, it was Zoom, because that's all we were doing. So I had it in like a Zoom setup where I'd look at the camera. Now it's as if they're all in a meeting room together, all the NFL teams talking to each other. And it's a recap of the week, so I kind of talk about what actually is happening in the NFL, but it's so comedy heavy that you get done with it and you're like, oh, wait, she just roasted half the NFL, and I thought it was just a weekly recap. So yeah, it's been a great fun time so far.
Do you know what's funny about that? That's actually how I started my format, because like you, when I started, people were not doing it like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, where did you come from? Where did that come to be? I'm like, this is just how me and my boys rap. This is what we do.
Right.
But somebody put me on the radio.
Right.
So I always said that if I ever got a show on the radio, this is what I would do. But this is basically what we did. We just talk junk to each other.
Yeah. And and people know, fans can tell, because that's how fans talk about sports.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. So in terms of the process, it's not, I mean, it looks, probably everybody's like, she just knocks it out. It's not like that, right?
Oh, no.
So what is, okay, I'm not going to ask you your process, but what was your process?
Yeah.
And now that you are who you are, do you have help, or do you still do it all yourself?
I still do it all myself, and I think that's what shocks people the most, because it's only a 2.5, 3-minute video, but it is so much work, and I'm not complaining at all. But I'll watch all the games on Sunday. It's about 7 hours of research on Monday, because I got to figure out what happened in each game that I want to capitalize on, because of maybe that's something that everybody else focused on. Because I can make the jokes that I want to, but I want to make the jokes that hit every fan base's little inside joke, you know? So I do a lot of research and writing. I write everything myself. And then I film it for about 3 to 4 hours, and I'll say the lines, a bunch of different inflections, so I get the right comedic joke at the right time, you know?
Timing.
And timing is everything in this. So then the editing itself takes like 7 to 10 hours, and I try to get it up at noon on Tuesday.
Oh, are we talking about, Sunday, Monday, like 3 full work days for a 2.5 to 3 minute segment?
My mom has called me on Tuesdays to make sure I haven't died, because she's like, I haven't heard from you in 2.5 days.
In 72 hours.
Because I just lock in, and I know that people love the meeting, so I want to put as much work and effort into it. So from right now, I don't have any team, because when I'm editing too, I don't know where a joke's going to go until I'm in the editing process sometimes. So I can't teach that to somebody really. And I'll stick with it for as long as I can.
Yeah, that exactly, right? You keep hammer that until somebody tells you no.
Yeah.
Annie Agar joins me for a few more moments. I want to ask you, if you grew up in Michigan, how did you become such a diehard Packers fan?
Oh, this is the age-old question. Everybody asks me this. So my brother's a diehard Lions fan. All of my family, big Lions fans.
Wow.
I was born in Detroit, grew up in Detroit. I had a best friend growing up. She was from Wisconsin. She lived across the street from me. She had 6 brothers, and I was young when we first met. I was like 6 or 7. I came home one weekend, looked at my dad, and said, they don't cry on Sundays over there. He was like, yep, they're from Wisconsin. They're Packers fans. And they got me a Brett Favre jersey.
They don't cry on Sundays over there.
Isn't that terrible? And the rest was history. I was indoctrined in after that.
No, it's not terrible. You guys roast each other.
We do.
That was
so
a great burn. Yo, Pop. I mean, they were probably so pissed. What are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Yo, they don't cry over there. In fact, I may go live over there.
Right, exactly. Every Sunday, I made sure I was over on that side of the street, not my own.
All right. So what about Sunday? Which way are you leaning on Sunday? Who you got?
I got to go Seattle. I said Seattle by 2 scores. I think that defense
a blowout.
is just, I think
well,
so.
Okay, a blowout or?
Right. A little bit more than we expect maybe, because everybody's saying it's going to be still a close game. I just think they're going to put a ton of pressure on Drake May. He's got 2 rookies on the left side. Like, you can't protect him the whole game. They can put pressure on a guy with 4 guys rushing. Like, that's an insane defense, what Mike McDonald's doing over there in Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle by 2 scores.
All right, I tend to see it the same way. I don't want to give it up completely. Before you go, I got to know the local news scene, before that went away, because that's how we all came up.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
A grind.
Yeah, it is.
What I do, say is hard.
What were you doing?
Anything and everything. I was editing. I was producing packages.
Did you shoot your own stuff?
I shot everything myself. You go to high school football games, try to cover 2 to 3 high school football games. Credit to my boss, because he taught me. So Jack Doles at NBC, he covers the Olympics for NBC. he's an incredible person, taught me everything I know, but it is a grind in local news. So credit to everybody that does local news out there.
By the way, you would not be able to do what you do and edit and everything.
No.
Like, you learned everything.
And I wouldn't be able to appreciate everything that everybody's doing because it's so much work. And like when you go to a set now and there's a camera set up, all this stuff set up, I used to do all that too, you know?
Right.
So now that it's done for me, I'm so much more appreciative of it.
The same thing, like when I started, there was none of this, right? Like there was no social media, there was no internet.
Right.
There was just local radio and TV and national radio and TV.
Right.
But I started in a small market, and it was such a grind, and it was so fierce to fight my way out of that market. But because I fought my way out of that market, it gave me that kind of grit and that sense of rejection because people gave up. I know there are people better, smarter, more talented, but they didn't have the will to stay in the fight.
Exactly. You know, it's almost like a farm system. Like because you got to start out at the lowest of the lows, like some random place in Montana. They do. It's a test,
No, easy on Montana. I love Montana.
I do love Montana,
We used to have a house in Montana. I love Montana.
Yellowstone changed Montana for everyone. I don't think people knew about Montana till Yellowstone.
Well, we did. I got there before the show.
Really?
I got there before the show, but I talked to a PBR guy yesterday, and he said the sport is so much bigger because Yellowstone.
Is it really?
Isn't that wild?
Because it's trendy now to be like I'm wearing cowboy boots. People would never have worn cowboy.
Are.
I am.
Wait, hold on.
That's not a trend.
Alligator or lizard?
It's python.
Oh.
And did you see Robert Irwin brought a snake around here?
No, I did not see it.
I was like, I'm wearing his brother. I got to be as far away from the snake as possible.
He might be wearing that.
Yeah.
Man, I remember Pete Rose tried to give me a pair of his boots that he'd worn like 6 times, and they were green, and they were kind of scuffed. He's like, no, let me take them. I'm like, really, Hit King? I'm good. He's like, no, take them. And I didn't want to insult the Hit King, but I didn't know.
There's got to be some rule to not share another man's shoes or something. I don't know. Seems a little unsanitary.
If I said that, and they weren't straight out the box either.
Right. Oh yeah. You said scuffed up. I was like, oh, they've got some sweaty socks.
That's the Annie Agar that I thought that I was getting today. What are we gonna do about the twisties, man? I hate that. Like that was such the plan that you were gonna come out here and I was gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to be like a bag. I don't want to be like a D-bag about it, but she'll be on board. You're an ambassador.
It's our brand, guys.
It is our brand, right?
It's so twisted. So twisted.
It is so twisted. Annie, you're the best. Listen, so good to meet you.
Nice to meet you
where can they find you if they want, if they haven't seen you yet?
Yep. Any social media at Annie Agar and at Annie Agar5 on TikTok, Instagram, X. I put it everywhere.
Absolute blast. So good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Have a great week, all right?
Of course, you too.
Have a great Sunday. Annie Agar joining us. She is the ultimate twisty brand ambassador, and that was so much fun.